It's AC cooling down the heat. We back with another pod. Desmond's here.
It's good to be back.
We did the pod previously without you. Sad. Dental hygiene. We got a special guest today. He plays Frisbee, knows a lot about Frisbee. The guy who taught me Frisbee and played Frisbee for UW. We got Tony.
Hey, man. What's up, brother?
Welcome to the pod. Appreciate you coming in.
Oh, man.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah.
Of course.
You want to tell the audiences a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. Grew up in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Played a lot of Frisbee. Just went to UW. Like what Augustine was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have stopped playing recently, but been picking up other things, working.
Mm-hmm. Are you still playing at UW right now, or just not anything at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so my question is, how did you get into Frisbee?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did you even know about the sport when you were little?
So I started with playing soccer, rec soccer around Seattle, Woodland rec, and going to the indoor soccer at Magnuson, and then at Eckstein. Actually, 5th grade was the first time, and yeah, there was it usually starts with some dad or parent saying oh, you should try this.
Yeah.
This is cool, and then I switched over once middle school came around. And then played for 11 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because a lot of sports now, back then it was introduced as either football, basketball, soccer. But Frisbee, I didn't really know about Frisbee until middle school, until I met you when we went to that Japanese trip. I didn't even know the rules. I just thought we were just throwing disc around.
Yeah. I was seeing dog parts. That's all.
I thought that was Frisbee, just throwing disc at dogs and then dogs catching it. But I didn't realize there's so much more to it. There's the scores and how to score and how to play and stuff like that.
No clue at all.
So I'm really fascinated. Do you mind giving a little bit about your knowledge about Ultimate Frisbee?
Yeah, it's a pretty new sport. In terms of its history, started in the 60s, 70s during the hippie movement, hippie wave. Supposedly a high school started it in New Jersey. Yeah, it's
what are the levels to it? You got for basketball, you got the NBA, you got G League, you got high school basketball A.
Yeah.
What are the levels to Frisbee all the way up to the professional level? I have no clue.
Yeah, it's definitely trying to get in the Olympics, right? So that's that's what they're trying to aim at least the USA Ultimate. That's their goal, one of them. But I think there's that, and then there's this whole professional league that's been popping off. They just had their championship last weekend or 2 weekends ago, and then you got college level, which is still club sports. So it's there's no NCAA sponsorship or none of that work. So a lot of it is just fronted. And then I think at the youth level, it's that's why I picked it up a lot. Was at the youth level, it's pretty big in Seattle, but in other cities and other areas, it's not as big. But
so it's still growing.
Yeah, it's a young sport. I think a lot of people that play it are motivated to see it grow.
Okay. Do you think more countries are picking up Ultimate Frisbee?
Yeah,
for sure. What other countries do you say that are picking it up right now?
I had this UW teammate last year, 2 years ago, who was from Singapore.
Oh, wow.
And he was doing school at UW, and he came because he wanted to play Frisbee at UW and get really good. So a lot of the Asian countries, Europe's got a big scene. They all kind of play each other. Belgium, France won the last Junior Worlds, so it's definitely picking up in some areas. But not everywhere, soccer. Some of the big sports. Yeah.
Well, it sounds pretty close to hitting
the
Olympics.
Is Washington? Is it really big on Frisbee compared to other states?
I think it's big in the sense that our youth scene's pretty big. Why I started playing was because all the middle school and all the elementary and all the high school teams, at least in private school and public school in Seattle, all have a team.
Yeah.
You got coaches. I don't know if it's, that's what it was for me when I was playing then, but now it might be smaller. Yeah, I know the East Coast is pretty big in terms of like the schools, like Virginia and I mean California too. I guess West Coast, down the West Coast, Oregon. Yeah,
that's odd, because you would think because it's mainly an outside sport, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of odd that you would think that Washington would be one of the bigger states for it,
Yeah, it's like especially like playing in the rain and stuff like.
Yeah, that would be like if the basketball. I keep saying basketball. That'd be like if basketball was most popular in like Minnesota, where it's always fucking cold. That's interesting.
But it's an indoor sport.
But I mean, it transfers. So when you hop in the gym, you shivering, your fingertips cold.
They got some heaters, stuff like that.
They ain't had no heaters in them schools, man. We was freezing. My bad. That was all top.
No, that's good.
Okay, but it sounds good. Like it's still growing.
But so, like, speaking about the weather, though, like, how does the weather impact Ultimate Frisbee itself? Like the snow and the rain, and
the wind, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where like some people start playing indoors, like you're saying, like like some people will actually just play on like a basketball court or wherever, honestly, like tennis court, whatever. I mean, it doesn't take that much to play it. You just need like cones and a disc, and then if you're on grass, you need cleats.
So let's say like you're competing into a tournament and it's like either windy or raining and snowing. It doesn't get canceled, right? You're still playing outdoors.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the people that play it, they just duke it out, like yeah, maybe they got like Frisbee gloves and stuff, and they got like different thermal stuff, but no, it's like it's people will play it. Like when it was snowing in Seattle here, like 2 winters ago, people were like scraping the snow off the turf and then making a small. I mean, they don't play like full field. You can't like scrape the whole field.
Yeah, that would be way too much work.
But it's everyone finds a way to play Frisbee to some degree.
Is that something you have to take into account when you're learning Frisbee? Like learn trajectory if it's raining or the wind. It's something you have to like actively use while you're playing.
Yeah, the game changes a lot when there's weather. Like, I mean, if there's lightning, you can't play. Like, no way.
Okay, fair enough.
That's just a safety. If it's too hot, right? Like, some places it gets up to 90, 100. So there's a bunch of like heat pauses during games and stuff. But yeah, I mean, the wind changes the game dramatically, especially if you're working upwind. I mean, you gotta really throw the Frisbee like
low,
super low to the ground, get a lot of spin. Rain. I mean, it makes the disc a little slippery, but growing up here, I kind of preferred playing in the rain.
Why is that?
Just gave me an upper hand. I feel like.
Against people who are not usually playing in weather condition.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
That's
So, speaking about that, which like state the most you compete with like that doesn't have like any weather conditions?
I don't say California, right?
Yeah,
California would probably be
Yeah, and I think I played Cali a lot, like all through the years. It's
when it starts raining, they just don't know how to play within the rain.
That's all I was thinking. They ain't used to that.
Or like Texas, maybe. Yeah, it's like super hot. Arizona,
and dry.
I'm just curious, like, how could they be able to prepare themselves into like weather conditions then? Like those players that are playing in a really warm weather state that are not really like well experienced in like
you're right
weather conditions.
Because you're in Texas, how are you gonna play in the snow at all?
Yeah.
How are you gonna play when it's
in the rain
really,
or windy?
Really windy, yeah.
But they ball when it's hot out though.
Right.
Yeah.
But so that's their ability though. They can ball out.
They got the infinite stamina, bitch. Okay.
But like when it comes to rain and wind and like snow, like I'm just curious, like how could they adjust themselves?
Yeah, I mean that's where I guess you like go live in a different state, experience different weather. I know some people traveled, like went to play for a team for a season just to like have a different environment.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's there.
Okay. That's what they do. Travel another state to get the whole experience of another weather.
But if you live like East Coast, Midwest, like you'll get both crazy storms and dry days, or hot days. Yeah.
So I kind of want to get into like knowing the sport now because I feel like a lot of people don't know much about the rules in the sport. So how many people are usually playing like in the game? Like for a team. Let's say for a team first.
Yeah, so like the regulation USAU, it's like 7v7. on like a 70-yard field, and then the end zones are 20 yards, and then the width is 40. So about the size of like a half of a football field.
Right.
Yeah. Probably not the whole length. Like the pro league, they play the whole football field. The whole soccer field. Yeah. Wow. It's just like bigger.
And how many people are usually playing in that?
That one's still 7v7, but the rules are like slightly different. Yeah. I would say like it's pretty similar to like if you mixed basketball, soccer, and American football together, but there's no contact. Yeah. So like, I can't just like charge, like run through someone and it's all good. Like
push someone to the ground and stuff like that.
So what are the positions then? And like how are you gonna stop somebody from snatching that frisbee out there?
Yeah, so you got like on offense, you got cutters downfield. They kind of play like a wide receiver role.
Okay.
Yep. Or just like running cuts and turns.
Doing like routes and stuff.
Yep. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay. So you got like teams will have specific plays down the field so that you can get like big yards. And then you got more like point guards or quarterbacks running the disc.
Yeah.
So like smaller 5-yard passes, And they're the ones that are actually going to make a lot of the big decisions down the field, like whether to look downfield, look for a reset, which is, keeping, because, when you have the disc, you only have it for a certain amount of time.
Oh, what's the time limit?
10 seconds.
10 seconds.
You gotta score, and if you don't score in that time, it switches over?
Yeah, it just turns over, so like, it's kind of like a shot clock, yeah. Like, you have to make a pass. And if you don't make a pass by then the frisbee just goes to the ground and the other team.
You have possession. To stay still, right? When you get the frisbee.
Yep, it's kind of like a handball. It's not really big.
Because I remember when we're playing Japan, you can't really move once you catch a frisbee.
Yeah, you get a couple steps, like, to slow down, because if you're going full sprint catching a frisbee, you can't just like
stop.
Yeah.
Just slide
so you kind of like slow down, and then once you are stationary, you only have a pivot foot to kind of move around. That's why it's kind of similar to basketball too, right? Once you stop dribbling,
that'll be a double dribble. You can't dribble again.
I like that whole aspect. Hit somebody with a pump fake.
It makes more sense through learning through different sports.
So how long? So is it played by quarters or?
So the pro league is timed.
Okay.
It's quarters, 4 quarters, 15 minutes.
15 minutes each.
Yep. Halftime, and then you got timeouts, and then
How many timeouts?
Timeouts, I think you get 2 per half.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, pro is different than the club league. Like club, it's still based on time, but you try to get to like a point cap. So you'll get to like 15 points, that's game. Yeah. But pro, you can go past 15. You can go like 20 points, 30 points more.
So it's just more on time, the pro.
Yeah. It's trying to be more sport-like.
Yeah, gotcha.
I think the club scene of Frisbee is more like community-oriented.
Yeah.
Trying to be like a culture.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Like, it's just like 2 different sides, and it sounds like the club is gonna last longer because that's where more people play it.
For how basketball has like free throw will be 1 point if you shoot like around 2 point and outside the 3-point line. What's the point system in Ultimate Frisbee?
It's all just like a goal basically.
So
like
you just get goal. 1 point.
Yeah,
okay.
If you catch it in the end zone, touchdown, 1 point.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys do some crazy celebrations at the touchdown.
Yeah, people get very creative.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. It's cool.
Driving the frisbee, like, doing some rowing thing. Yeah, it's
cool.
That's exactly how the football celebrations.
People get creative.
What's your craziest celebration?
My craziest? I don't know. We do one in high school where like we would like put the frisbee on the ground and treat it like campfire.
And everyone just like go,
yeah. Bro, and then someone like would throw the disc up and just be like,
Speaking about positions, what position did you play?
I mostly played like defense. Yeah, okay. I think. Yeah.
What is defense even like on? Because like, so when they catch the frisbee, they're not allowed to move. So that it's mainly just guarding them from their routes.
Yeah, it's like cornerback downfield. Yeah, you can. Yeah, it'll be similar to that. And then if you're guarding like a point guard, like a handler, it'll be more marking. Working because like you can actually get pretty close to them when they have the frisbee. You have to be like a disc space away.
And you're trying to block them out.
Yeah.
You can smack the frisbee down, right?
If it's not in their hand.
Yeah.
So
really? you can't do anything physical to the frisbee when it's on hand, right?
Yeah.
So but like once it's out of hand, you can like smack it down or catch it, stuff like that.
Intercept. Yeah, you can block it. Yep.
So we're about to start having guys. About to have Wembyama's in it playing frisbee, just smacking it out.
That would be interesting, actually.
You feel me? LeBron's
some
out there.
tall, like motherfuckers.
Yeah. I'm trying to see John Morant play some frisbee and just knock it out the air. That's awesome.
Being tall definitely helps. Yeah, you can just like throw over people. Okay. You can catch it higher. Yeah, it's me being short. It's a lot tougher. But
there gotta have to be the abilities for short people too.
Yeah, I mean like quickness is definitely a skill in frisbee. Yeah. Like even the shortest basketball players play great defense. You know?
I feel like I saw like one of your clips. You were diving to like for a catch or something like that. Like
layouts.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of tall people. I mean, they could dive, but like they're probably it's gonna be much harder than like you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's gonna shorten their careers a couple years. So, Okay. I like the whole idea. So what type of training is even needed? So you're talking about being quick. Obviously, you're gonna have to need some type of jumping if you're trying to knock the frisbee down. You got quickness. What's the training like?
Yeah, a lot of people do like plyometrics. So like getting your fast twitch muscles. Getting your sprint up, and then a lot of strength training as well. I think a lot of people, it's a long season. It's a long, if you play, you could play year round. If you play college, right? You like start in the fall, go to spring, and then you play club or pro, and then you play all through the summer, and then do that cycle. So you can play for a full year. So it's important to kind of stay strong and functional. I don't think like one specific training does it all.
Yeah.
And I know there's some people that don't train at all and just like
no way
just want to play frisbee.
Oh, okay.
Just like
just
like,
for fun.
Yeah,
like some Kevin Durant like working on his shooting game, like that kind of thing.
Fair enough.
But I mean, me personally, I did a lot of strength training, a lot of sprint work. My dad was a runner, so like there's a lot of endurance to it.
Your dad played too?
He played in Japan actually.
Oh,
one time, yeah. But he doesn't. No, he doesn't play that much. Yeah.
So that's basically where it all started, then, huh?
Yeah, it's actually my stepmom was a big influence too, because she played at Western, one of like the first college women's teams. Chaos is up there, so she was playing. She played in like Amsterdam and stuff. So
that's awesome.
I definitely have some like family roots, but like my mom didn't really play, like my dad didn't really play, and like
it was in the family.
But you got the influence though.
Yeah, but I think the biggest influence for me was like the mentors within the sport for sure, like the coaches. My first coach, Daniel Ma, all these people that like Recos, like all these people that really helped grow at least youth frisbee in Seattle. Yeah. That's why I kept playing probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's the encouragement of the coach?
Yeah.
Do you think you'll ever be a coach?
I coached a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I coached at Eckstein and I coached at Hale. And at Hale, we won the state championship.
Hey, let's go.
I got second at nationals in 2021. So
okay,
that was a good crew. Like that team was solid.
Do you still plan to coach? School is coming back.
Yeah, I mean, some people ask me, like Garfield High School asked me a while back. Some other people were like, "Hey,
it's a paying job, right?"
Yeah. You gotta get paid for that. But, but yeah, it's
probably not as much, but it's paid.
Yeah. But no, I think I was talking to a friend about it. I'd definitely do more like frisbee training work. Yeah, like work with a couple people.
Gotcha.
Like more selective work, but as of right now, I'm
like a personal trainer type of thing.
Yeah. I think that's kind of where I'm at, but it's also like you don't really get paid much for frisbee, so it's like not a lot of people are really looking into that. But if it's there, like I was talking to my friend, like that's the only thing we would probably do. He's like a big power lifter now, but
I feel like if you do like private training, you can earn your own sort of income.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, give me $100 and I'll do like this lesson with you for this amount of time.
Absolutely.
So that's a great potential. Yeah.
That's something that you ever do, like even just really just making that a little stable thing you could do and just make some income.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a good route. I mean, I would definitely there's definitely people that do it now too, and they do like a sliding scale kind of work.
What's that?
So you can pay 20, or if you're struggling paying bills and stuff, you can just pay 10 or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like, I mean, I think Frisbee is more of a community aspect at this point.
Yeah.
It's not like people are really trying to. I mean, some people are definitely trying to make it big, but it's if it's there, if the opportunity's there, I'll definitely reach out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, for anybody trying to get into there, where would you even start for trying to recruit? Are you going to schools? Are you going to community clubs? Or is it strictly in that community that someone else has to come find?
Yeah, I think a lot of the times it's just like someone reaching out, like a teacher that coaches being like.
It's like connections.
Yeah. It's more connections, and if your friends play it, it makes it a lot easier for sure. I know a lot of people start in college, because you're just doing school, so you're like, dang, I need some other activity to kind of keep me going. So they pick it up during college usually. Yeah, I picked it up early, like 5th grade. So
if you could make Frisbee and like ultimate Frisbee into like a bigger sport, how would you do it personally to make it more known and to make it more international?
Dude, that's a tough question.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's still such a young sport. Like I don't know where it'll be.
Do you think it has potential to become like, let's say, I'm trying to think of like a sport that's also young but it's like also known out there now.
Ultimate tag class that's blowing up.
Ultimate tag
or like flag football.
Flag football.
Yeah. That's perfect one.
Yeah, I mean let's this past Olympics, right? Like breakdancing was in it.
Yeah, breakdancing.
Skateboarding was in it.
Skateboarding was in it, and they had like BB gun shooting in it too.
Yeah.
What's BB gun, or you mean like the
surfing was in it?
That was the BB gun.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think I don't know. Some people believe that for a sport to grow, it's got to be at the highest level. Olympics probably, right, or some other world games.
But there's also like the FIBA too, right? Like FIBA like FIBA soccer, FIBA basketball.
Yeah.
There's like other FIBA stuff that I'm not really familiar with,
but I think that's one way to think about it, is like try to get it to its highest level, so that you can see like the most top athletes compete against each other. Gotcha. Like watching like Otani play against his.
Well, what's interesting, I didn't know that I actually like watching volleyball until I watched it in the Olympics.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, I feel like a lot of people just need to see like highlights or just like something that's like Frisbee to be like, oh wow, like that's actually more interesting than I thought it was.
Just get put out there
because like they don't put volleyball much on TV unless it's like the Olympics or like a country like playing against each other. Like I feel like it has to be like TV, national.
It just needs to get that boost for people to just be like, okay, this is the thing, so they can know to come to it and watch it.
And the big reason why it doesn't really break through to that like big audience is because there's not actually a lot of people playing it. Like, it's still a small sport, niche sport. Like it's like, I think they said something like 3 million around the world were playing it in like 2018.
How would you personally try to make it like a gospel to like?
I don't know if I'm the good advocate anymore for it.
I mean, but
I've stepped down. But
how about this?
Would you? I mean, personally, would you like to see the sport grow into a bigger scene?
Yeah, I think so. I think anything that's niche, I think it has some good value to it, and it can teach good skills to. I mean, especially when I was younger.
Just speaking about it, rugby honestly got into a bigger sport nowadays too, because now rugby is more nationalized on TV and stuff like that. So I mean, it wasn't that big back then.
Yeah,
like it was known, but like now it's like more nationalized. Like Japan, I see Japan playing rugby now, like and like all these other countries. So I feel like I think Frisbee definitely has potential to be on. One of those sports out there.
I think it really just want to start with the Olympics.
Yeah.
I think it has to come down maybe to the rules too.
That's what I was gonna ask.
True.
Yeah. I was gonna say, so instead of like, how would you get it popular? Maybe is there something that could be changed about like a ruling?
Maybe like make it more aggressive.
Yeah, is there something that
I mean, like you look at hockey and like Kraken in Seattle is huge.
Yeah.
People going to those games, going to the ice rink, and like. Yeah, I think, that one's fun to watch because, hockey dudes, they be just like, it's like intense,
just like,
right?
Like everyone wants to want to go to like the Coliseum, see gladiators.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, that's what it's like.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why
see blood and gore and stuff, yeah.
I mean, it's not saying Frisbee has to be, that, but, maybe making it like fast paced or adding
well, it's already fast paced. You're just running, running the field,
Mm-hmm.
catching it like nonstop, you know what I mean, trying to make defensive move.
Mm-hmm.
It's just... I guess it's not as aggressive as other sports, like when it comes to like pushing someone down, like what he was saying, like pushing someone down on the ground and stuff like that. But speaking of pushing anyone down, like has that ever happened in Ultimate Frisbee though? Like
man, I've gotten like red cards, yellow cards from observers and refs. Yeah, like a lot of the because it's non-contact, a lot of that, any amount of it is like pretty frowned upon.
Yeah.
So like I definitely try to push the boundaries of like what that looks like, and then people are like, oh, this guy, nah, not him, like he's doing too much, like, right? It's like I think a lot of people want to just keep the sport the same to what it was in the beginning, and I think that's great. Like it keeps the culture alive, keeps people wanting to play it. It's safe, But
I feel like you can also make like another set of like, like set of rules for like a Does that have to be like you keep that cultural Frisbee movement, but also like make a new general Frisbee
I was trying to think of an example, but say if you want to make it professional, then you like change the whole the whole thing, but like there's certain things that you're gonna change.
Well, like listen, like tennis, it's freaking on television and it's not that interesting. I'm not gonna lie. I'd rather watch Frisbee.
I would too, but I mean I saw one clip that blew my mind. Look,
golf. Let's talk about golf. What about golf? Is anyone interested in golf? I mean, there is definitely some people, but like,
I would definitely rather watch Frisbee than most sports besides basketball and football. But all right. So hold on, maybe back to top. What I was trying to say, right? I think maybe it's like because like sports is kind of based off nowadays individualism. They're all team sports, but what really drives the numbers is that one dude is like, oh man, he's awesome, he's so cool, he can do this more than these guys. What can be done to kind of like just build that up over time? Like, I know that people are trying to keep it.
Oh, you know what? Like, pickleball actually gotten big too.
Yeah, pickleball.
That's been picking up.
Yeah, it's
not just the one where you should hit against the wall.
No, it's like a paddle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's kind of like
with the ball.
It's kind of like tennis, and you just like hit it back and forth.
Okay.
I think it's smaller though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Than the tennis court.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's gotten big. It's on television now. There's like a lot of tournaments and stuff like that. Every time I drive past this like tennis court, I see people playing pickleball. What I'm trying to say about that is that like you just need some type of celebrity or some type of big person like playing like Frisbee to get it known, because I feel like I don't know how, but like I think someone like really well known started playing pickleball and everyone started picking it up.
Yeah.
Look, all I'm saying is that all the Frisbee needs, it's crazy I'm saying, so I never even watched a game of Frisbee, but all I'm saying is that if I see some dude jump up a good 40-50 inches up into the air, smack a Frisbee down, I'm on it. I'm watching. I'm on it. So
basically, we just gotta invite Victor to play.
Victor or John Morant. Somebody just gets up, Like
I don't see John Morant doing.
Oh, no, of course, no. He's about his. But
hold up,
he's about his. But like,
but
can you? That would be such a cool sight. That's personally for me. That would get me on there like white on red. So
you should have played Frisbee. You could have been that.
Maybe I
could have been that.
I should have
smacking
yes.
that Frisbee down.
I should have said yes. Yes.
Damn. I think that's what a lot of the pro league is about too. Mm-hmm. It's more about like action, getting those big dives, getting those big,
those highlights.
You're mossing someone, you're skying someone on someone's head, like it's like. But I think it's another part of the community is like, nah, let's keep it like back to its roots.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
No, I get that. Completely.
Chill. Good. There's a whole
spirit
of the game.
They will ever like allow the separation though, like build like a whole new culture for like definitely have the roots of the culture of like Frisbee and Ultimate Frisbee, like, but what do you think they will let the separation happen, like of a new whole culture of Frisbee?
Maybe at some point, but I mean, like the majority of people like the game for how it started.
Okay.
You know, and I think for that to change. I don't know.
Need the people.
Yeah.
So maybe it doesn't need to
actually
change,
coming from your personal opinion, how do you feel about that? Do you think that like it should kind of move on to like a new aspect of Frisbee, or you think it should be in touch with the roots?
Yeah, I think for me I'd like to see it grow, like get bigger, more people playing it. I think that was a big reason why I was like coaching and wanted to give back to where I started. But at the same time, like I think the game's got to change a lot for it to grow.
Yeah.
Because right now, like, you know, you got grown ass people just like arguing over calls because there's no ref.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, and then you're sitting there like all the spectators, all the families watching, they're like waiting 20 minutes being like, what's happening? Like what's on the field?
What's going on?
They don't know the rules, they don't know anything, right? Like I think the game is there's too many rules to it for it to be, you know, like you play tennis, pickleball, you're just you know what's gonna happen. The ball's gonna go across the net. Like if that doesn't happen, then they score a point, right? But like Frisbee, there's so many like ins and outs to it. It's more of a lifestyle sometimes. It's more of a you got to know kind of thing.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
I'm just curious, like, so why isn't there any refs though? That's my question.
Yeah, you're good point.
I think it's because it was grassroots. Like it started, you know.
So people would just. So back then, people were just like, "Hey, like, I just screw that call you made and stuff like that."
Yeah.
Like you could like. You basically can call your own fouls and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's hella trolls, for sure.
Gotcha.
You know, people think I'm a troll when I play.
Trolls?
Yeah. Like, you know, like, you saying, like, that disc is down or something. Because, you know, and they're like, no, I caught it. Like, I had my hand under it.
Yeah.
You know? Or, like, you know, when there's, like, contested calls, like, you know, usually you got, like, some replay video for, like, football or something.
Yeah,
you know? Like, it really comes down to, like, integrity.
Oh, man, you can't count on that.
You can't count on that.
We know how it goes.
So that means people could just be flopping on the field and be like, "Oh, you fucking hit me," and you're like, "I didn't do that." What are you talking about?
Okay. I think that's what's maybe stopping it from getting bigger. But I think a lot of people that play it appreciate that aspect of it. Because you're part of a bigger group, you're part of a bigger culture that respects each other. I mean, that's kind of the way with like other niche sports too. Like,
but that's all. I think that's also hard for those people that are super competitive in sports to play sports like that, because like, you know, the strive to win is also just like you're just arguing with like a bunch of people. Like what do you mean? Like I didn't do that. You're just like wasting time arguing with people when you just want to just, you know, strive to greatness and just to win the game.
Okay. Maybe it's just meant to be one of those more just fun, laid-back sports, you know? Mm-hmm. I can't think of another sport off the top of my head, but I feel like that's the thing.
Which I understand, you know, like, you know, there's definitely sports out there that are, like, super laid-back, you know, you just want to have fun, and it's, like, a hobby type of thing. But, like, also, like, there's also, like, this sense of people, like, that wants to play professionally and that wants to have, like, that strive to, like, you know, play aggressive, you know what I mean? So I feel like if, you know, there's those like differences in Frisbee, I feel like there could be a branch out to at least, you know, play that strive and greatness and competitiveness.
Yeah, definitely attract that new audience.
Yeah,
too,
exactly. You know? Yeah. I mean, still even keeping the roots of Frisbee along with it.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean,
it's harder than it's easier said than done, but I feel like there's an opportunity for that for sure.
I mean, I'll definitely keep. Even though I'm not playing anymore, I'll definitely keep up to date with like how it's changing. Yeah. And, you know, 50 years down the road, it might be played on like some
stadium.
Like something.
Be in like Lumen Field, but like in 50 years or so.
Yeah, it could be that, you know, or, you know, it's just, You never know with sports and stuff.
Yeah, Ultimate Frisbee 2026 on PS5. Like, I mean, I'm just saying that'd be cool.
They're trying to make video games and stuff, but it's
all right. Well, we'll come off on a break here, and we'll come back. Appreciate Tony for speaking about experience on Frisbee. We'll get a little bit more about him and his college life and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. All right, we back from break.
Let's get it.
Chilling. It's hot in this room. We're trying to make this work. The summer sucks here, but when it's winter and fall, it's so nice in here.
Oh yeah, be cold.
Like we were like wearing sweatshirts.
Yeah, we were chilling coats. Yeah.
You just turn the heater on.
Yeah, I regret wearing long pants today.
You feel me? Yeah.
Should have worn some shorts and a t-shirt. But Tony, I have a question actually. What advice would you give to those kids out there trying to be an aspiring Frisbee player?
I think don't let other people tell you what you can and can't do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I had a lot of good people teaching me all the different ways to play and what you should do, but like really it just comes down to like what you want out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you really want to focus on your game, on your skill, make yourself versatile for all the different Frisbee teams, like, that's great. Like, you should do that. Just, like, you should really just be yourself, right? Like, just, like, follow what type of Frisbee you want out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of times I was playing just so that I could get a ship or that I could, like, make my superiors happy or something, but like I wasn't really playing for myself.
Yeah, you're just playing for them.
Yep. So,
what's the style you kind of like? Should even give an idea to someone out there. It's like, Frisbee's cool.
Yeah.
What's like your style? Because you said you play defense. Is that like you're kind of like a hyperactive? Are you like almost hyperactive, just in their face?
Yeah. Some people like thought of me as like a mosquito, right? Like I'd never leave them. Like I would just always be on their like on their hip, just like constantly guarding. That was my style. Was just like make it as hard as possible to make a pass.
There's all different kinds of styles you can play.
Yeah, I mean, like
for anybody.
My friend Jasper, I mean, he's lefty, and he's like 6'4", so he's just like throwing over people's heads and just like stepping out. And they're like, I can't guard that. Like his step is just like so far away, and it's I think there's so many different ways to play it that like you get a lot of creative. It's good expression for sure. You can like really express the way you. Some people like to play really intense. I like playing intense. Some people like playing relaxed, having fun, but then also taking it seriously. There's different levels to it for sure. Yeah.
Has anyone like, in your experience, given up on Frisbee?
Man, a lot of people that I grew up in playing high school, and like even college, like after a certain point, you're like, dang, I've been playing this for too long. Like, I need to get out. Like, it's not getting the funds. Like, the funds aren't good because all my money's going towards flights and tournaments and gear and stuff. So, it's a lot. But, there's people that still keep playing, though,
Why is there no fundings for Frisbee?
I think, like, it's still small. And, the people that are playing it at the highest level, they got good jobs. Like they got the money flowing. They got good, parent support, whatever, right? So it's like, they can keep it as an activity outside of work, even with their busy schedule. But like, if you're working like service or you're working like part-time somewhere, or if you're a student, like it's it's a lot
like
harder.
It's more commitment to the game than your actual life.
So exactly.
That's a big reason. That's why there's not even that competitive flow in it.
And maybe with like other sports, right, you can like get a sponsorship, the team will cover you, which some teams have done for sure. Like, the Seattle team, Sockeye here, the professional club team, like they helped a lot of my expenses for one of the summer seasons. And, they were very understanding because a lot of them worked like tech jobs and worked high level corporations. So, they understood where I was coming from, being like broke college kid, like
just trying to make it out.
But it's, I mean, you can, if you put your time and energy to it, you can make it.
What type of support would you like to see for the kids out there that are trying to get into the sport though?
More trainers, even
more financial needs, more equipment,
school teams.
It's gotta just grow, man.
Yeah,
I think it's at a point where like it needs to have more people involved, and I think that's what a lot of people want to in the sport. But
what about like? What if they do like some type of fundings, like we'll wash your car for like $10 or something like that to pay off my Frisbee.
Yeah, there's a lot of the teams. There's a lot of team stuff, so they'll try to like sell gear to promote and then fundraise for the season.
But is there? I'm assuming there's probably not that much going on for the college scene for like fundraising.
College, yeah, like.
Because if you're paying out of pocket, I mean, there wouldn't be that much fundraising then. No,
yeah, it's like you got to go through the school to really try to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're a club sport.
Yeah.
And recently the professional NCAA athletes, they're able to now get sponsorships and money, but like, yeah, I think club sports are still kind of lacking behind in terms of getting support from the school, unless you go to like a nice private school or something. Yeah.
Okay.
But
what type of changes would you see within college scene then?
College, man, less about like trying to win, more just having a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think so much of the season is like college is honestly the biggest viewership because so many people play college Frisbee. That's where they started.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So I think at the college level, you just got to make it more accessible and more, not kicking off all the other sports from the field and like, you gotta make it so that it's like
its own.
Yeah. Like the school really wants you there, and the school like that's why I like going to Hale for high school Frisbee. It was because like the school knew we were good, and they respected it, and like all the sports were like, oh yeah, Frisbee, that's it, like.
Yeah.
But once I got to UW, it was like.
So you received more. You think you received more support from high school than college?
For sure, yeah. I think that's why I chose Hale, because it was just like, the Frisbee community there and like the school like supported us.
Yeah.
But I think UW, it's such a big public school.
Mm-hmm.
What is it, like 50,000 or something now or something? Like it's when they see Frisbee on like the turf fields, they're like, "Oh, I'm just trying to play soccer. Like, get out of my way!" Like, or like it's like a battle.
It's like competitiveness with like the other sports and stuff like that. Yeah,
and they don't have enough funding to go to like all the club teams.
Well, it's kind of crazy that you say that, because UW is such a big school. Yeah. Like you would think like there's some like backup funding or whatever to support all the kids, dreams.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, first of all, we're paying for tuition and all this. Yeah. We should get some type of,
If it has a club, you think we go hand in hand?
Yeah, we go hand in hand in funding, because like if that's what I'm paying for my tuition and my interest, you guys should be funding my interest and inspire me to be, what I want to be.
So that's what you're there for.
That's what college is for, because you're trying to be inspired to be something that you want to be and to educate yourself and grow yourself. But it seems like it didn't work out that way for Frisbee and some other club sports, which is kind of sad to see, because all these like kids going in like, oh, like I have these dreams to be like, I want to do this and play Frisbee too, but like there's no fundraising back to the kids.
You said you stopped playing. Does that have anything to do with that reason? Because UW itself just not giving that type of support, where it makes you like.
Yeah, I think so. Like, at a certain point, it just comes down to like whether your parents are gonna pay for it or not. And my parents supported me for like all of youth and all of high school.
Yeah.
But once I got to college, they're like, "It's on you." Like,
now you're an adult.
They helped me a little bit, but it's just like if you want to play a high level club at the college level, it's like, oh, your parents gotta fund you, and it's like,
which is not. Just that's the thing. That's not the case for every kids don't have like a wealthy family. All the kids like you probably have to work 2 jobs just to get through, and And it's unfortunate to see that there's no support if you're paying like tuition to a school to not have any support back from that school. Yeah. Any fundings and growth and education wise and sports.
Yeah, it's insane that a medium-sized high school is giving more support than a sport than
the college.
One of the biggest colleges.
Yeah. Especially when it comes to like moving on to the next step
you would think, like that like for like if you're playing crazy in high school,
and
right,
they should know that not all the kids are going to be the same.
Yeah,
and financial needs. They already know that there's financial aid and all this, and they, especially sports, all the kids, that's what they love to do to get along with their day.
You were saying like the team likes to build money like for fundraising and whatnot, and you're also saying like generally there's usually that one rich kid that comes from that rich family. That's the reason they're there. They're just playing for fun. Do they ever like kind of, from your experience, like help each other out? Like, oh man, you need money for this equipment? Oh sure, my pops got you. Or I can handle this for you. I got you. So they can get you through it if he's showing up drive. Is that a thing at all?
Yeah, it kind of depends, but it's kind of like not really talked about either. Mm-hmm. Like I think like you're saying with like the scholarships and stuff. Mm-hmm. I think people go to UW for the academics, right? Like that's first and foremost.
Yeah. And
that's kind of the mentality. And then if you're not there for anything else, like, hey, yeah.
But
yeah,
it's that's the sad part though. Like, I know every kid, or not like every kid, but like there's always kids out there that loves to play sports. Mm-hmm. Like,
and that's their way out.
Yeah, there's their way out. Like there's, like, kids are not that wealthy that usually just play sports to just get through their day. Mm-hmm. Like soccer and stuff like that, or playing basketball.
There's millions of adults and kids that wouldn't have made it to where they are if they didn't have that one sport or that one creative freedom. So it sucks that they're Frisbee's canceled out.
Exactly.
That should be an option.
And I mean, it really doesn't take that much.
It doesn't
to do. Yeah. I mean, I want to say sports is I know they want to focus on education, but I want to say sports is the biggest thing for, people in education too.
Yeah, I think it definitely comes at least second. It's gotta have funding.
It's kind of sad to see that not the big sports are getting funded.
But who knows, man? It's still growing, like you were saying. So maybe next.
Well, that's the thing. It shouldn't. So my point saying is that I don't think school should just depend on the growth or what like how the high school. He was saying that Nathan Hill supported Frisbee. It's not a grown sport during the time he went to high school.
Yeah.
They were just supporting the kids because they know the kids love it, and Frisbee's the thing for the kids. It should be the same thing for college.
It's all about
these kids have all these inspirations, and want to be something. The college should support that and fund that because we're paying tuition out of the way.
Especially if it's already a club, which is kind of crazy.
Think about this. Nathan Hale is a free school to get into, and they're still willing to provide for these kids and. Inspired to play Frisbee and stuff like that.
I would like to see that, man. Yeah. I want to see that.
Yeah, I think at the college and club professional level, it just becomes an individual thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I think
it's like...
culture is weird at UW, for sure.
Because you gotta work harder than probably a lot of the kids, too, to get on the flight to go play.
Right.
Like in California or something like that. Which is unfair because, you have the love for the sport like as us. As much as the other kids and stuff like that, and
getting paid out for it.
Yeah, there was my last season at UW. I drove 15 hours for a tournament.
Jeez,
no chance. Did you really?
Yeah.
Where was that?
We were going down to Cali for a tournament, and I drove a couple teammates, and I was like, I can't pay for this flight. Like, you want to just drive?
Yeah,
I did it twice actually. Twice, but it was 15 hours from Seattle all the way to basically Sacramento.
Yeah, damn. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Just straight?
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah.
Bro.
I had work the other day, so I had to leave at night. It was crazy. Left at 10, got to Sacramento at 10 a.m.
I mean, that's commitment. That's commitment, man.
Yeah, that's kind of where it's
that's probably the pushing point for you, right?
It was,
for sure. I don't want to be driving 15 minutes or either paying for a plane.
Yeah.
Because you gotta support yourself.
That's a lot. Bro, they could just easily afford a little bus. It was it was college. It was $1,000 get them a bus, the whole team, get them over even a flight.
They can do that
They can do just like that.
Well, just even a bus, like one of those Greyhound buses, they could just drive the team down there. It's not as in my head for a school like that. It's not that expensive.
Yeah, you would think
it's not that expensive to do.
No, it's a huge
to just support the kids to have a bus driver to drive them down to fucking
a tournament.
Yeah,
it's I don't get that. It's a huge school, so
step up your game, guys.
What you doing, man?
It's probably not just UW. It's like all these other like big colleges that have the fundings to do 15 hours worth of driving for the kids just to play their sports that they're inspired to play.
I get that.
It's just kind of like ruins the hopes and dreams a little bit for the kids that wants to be in that sports and play the sports.
If you try to be competitive, you find out there's no help to get you even out
there. Yeah, because they just want to support themselves now, not worry about the extra
curriculum.
Yeah, curriculum.
How different is that on the college basis? Is it wildly different, or are they kind of all standardized and they don't really?
It just depends. Like if you go to like a state school, like you probably pay out of state, so you're paying more to do extracurriculars. You know? So if you go to like Oregon or something, like you assume everyone can kind of pay for their own. Same with like other schools, but if you go private school, they got a lot of funding coming in from parents and whatnot, and a lot of alumni. So I know schools that like will actually fund like a bus or something to go to a tournament if you're a small school, because it's only like the team is only like 15 people or something, right? Like. But if you like UW, like our team was like 30 plus, and they were like, we don't want, it's a lot of people to have to drive and manage. So I understand it, but it's kind of also just like, this is where you wish the sport was bigger, kind of thing. But I think a lot of people also have really good memories of like having to take flights together on their own and like
driving down 15 hours.
I had homies like putting their flights on credit cards and stuff just to get down and like it's
well, also like staying in a hotel too, right?
Yeah, you gotta pay for hotel, you gotta pay for food. Yep. Yeah, a lot of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot. That doesn't sound very genuine from colleges, I'm not gonna lie.
And it's the same for the highest club level as well.
Yeah.
If you're gonna play Worlds Frisbee, like that's gonna probably be coming out of your pocket, like
that's nuts.
But if you play pro, that's the thing that they're trying to do is like try to make it so you don't have any negative expenses or like go down. Right, everything should be paid for, but it's also struggling to kind of get that funding too. It
really needs those sponsors.
Yeah.
Frisbee, do you think that? I guess do you think like the colleges need to recognize like all the sports, or you think it just needs to be they're only just recognizing the bigger sports?
I think they recognize the bigger sports because like
that's how they get money too.
Yeah, and that's how they get like top athletes going here. All this stuff, and it's. I think I understand my position in the sport hierarchy for sure.
Everyone deserves a chance.
But I think everyone deserves a chance. It doesn't. It can't just be like the football college, the basketball college. Like it has to be a chance for all the kids.
They go. But my problem is like obviously it's too big for just the parents to handle. So I mean, they have proof that there's potential in it. That there's people that want that. So it's like your college, you'd be thinking like, oh, these parents can no longer afford that. So let's handle it for them, So obviously, in the future, we're gonna get returns back because it's growing. Cause we can see that it's growing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, especially like they already know that they're competing in California. There's already other schools competing. They should be able to work something out with other schools. Be like, hey, UW is coming to UCLA or something to play some ultimate frisbee. Let's arrange something for these kids to play their game and have at it.
I believe in it.
Hopefully the next generation kind of has that opportunity because I think I had a good ride. It was just like...
Just was too much for you.
Yeah.
It got to a point where you just wanted to focus on your own personal...
Yeah, maybe if I majored in CS and lived in a fraternity, I could somehow pay for everything. But I don't know. That's not my lifestyle at all.
Would you ever get back into frisbee?
Nah, not right now. And I don't think for a while. I mean, I'll definitely keep in touch with people, like all my teammates and friends and stuff. But yeah, as of right now, I'm like, dang, I'm just trying to focus on myself. Try to, like, you know, do what I need to do to get good.
If you don't mind me asking, what was your ending point for Frisbee?
Ending point, probably 2022 summer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think, because it was like UW season. And I was like, dang, I can't pay for all this.
Yeah.
And then club season, we were like trying to win a championship again, but we really didn't have the capacity to do it at all. And I was like, man, I'm out.
Yeah. You basically like worked your whole life like for those 2 seasons to just play for UW.
I mean, are you happy that you did it all though? I mean,
that for sure. Core memories. Yeah. Right? I definitely have some good teammates, like good moments for sure. It's you know, I really just use Frisbee as a way to kind of have an outlet.
Yeah.
Have a you know, something to do after school. Like, you know, I wasn't like a books kid. Like my parents, they're like, you need to do something outside of school. Like, you need to be doing something. Like, we can't watch you after school, and like, you know, you have to just be studying or something. Like, I wasn't one of those kids that could just read a book or go hang out with friends. Really, I was just like, I needed some kind of like outlet to go do something and express myself, and I thought Frisbee was that, and it was for a long time. It was just once you become an adult, you know, your priorities change. Yeah, life comes fast. Like, you gotta figure out rent. You gotta figure out, you know, all this stuff. And just living in Seattle's expensive. It's
me and Tony knew each other since middle school, like, and like knowing him, like, he was a Frisbee guy. Like, everyone was like, yeah, Tony's a Frisbee guy. He's the best Frisbee player on the team. That's awesome, man. Yeah, and it's crazy to see that Frisbee's not in your life anymore.
Yeah, it's good though. I think I'm learning things about myself that I didn't really know before, like, you know.
I mean, now you're picking up skateboarding. You're picking up like Nintendo, like, you know, video games, anime. I mean, I think you're finding more of your true self than you realize. Yeah, which is great.
Yeah, it's cool. Like, and I think I'm starting to learn. I'm definitely more creative than I thought I was. Like, like a lot of Frisbee, like at the highest level, is a lot of just like drills. You're just like, you got to work on this movement like 100 times, and then you
it's like super repetitive and stuff. And you can't really do your you can't really work on your imagination that way. You're stuck in repetitiveness.
You're just like a bot.
Yeah, just keep doing the same thing over and over.
Some people really like, you know, if you're already a bot in the real world, like, you know, being able to play Frisbee and like throw to a person is like really nice. Like, I understand that. Like, you know, I could do that for high school and college, but once I'm an adult now, I definitely know that I'm definitely more expressive, and I need some outlet to kind of show my emotional side and show my intensity, which skateboarding is great. It's hella hard. Like, man. It's very
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like a robot every time when I'm at work, and it sucks, man.
That's work duty, man.
That's what work does. When you're an adult, you're just working 24/7, you're doing the same repetitive stuff.
Creator's block.
It's and I'm just like, I don't want to be doing this for the rest of my life. Like, I want to be creative, be something that I want to be, not.
Yeah, when you know that you have something that you want to express and bring to the world, just doing that 9 to 5, it ain't enough. Even if it pays enough, it ain't enough.
Well, appreciate this conversation, Tony, and your experience about Frisbee and your knowledge about Frisbee, and then also just giving your experience about a little bit about your personal life. And I want to thank you guys for listening in.
Absolutely.
Please like, subscribe, share, turn on your post notifications. Changes,
man. Come on.
Comment down below.
Fund that Frisbee, man.
Yeah.
Fund the Frisbee.
Help the kids that want to play Frisbee for sure.
Absolutely.
You got anything else to say?
No, man. Thank you for sharing what you got, man, and like teaching us about Frisbee, giving us this is nothing something that we wouldn't have any info on. Nothing.
I'm sure a lot of people are a lot more educated about Frisbee than before.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man.
This is good.
Get us to 200 subs, please.
Absolutely.
And we out.